Good morning. We're so happy you're here. We're doing Vlogmas this year. So if you like this video, please come back until Christmas. We're doing these little Coca Cola Espresso drinks today. Started with Coke. Then here is it is a double shot of espresso. I don't know if I'm going to like this because I'm more of a sugary coffee drink, but I mean, there's a lot of sugar in Coke. And then top it with some cream. We have half and half. I imagine you could use fancy creamers. And then the person I saw, she topped it again with a little bit more Coke. Just do a little topper. Cheers.
Tastes good.
I hate it.
Tastes like you hate it.
What does it taste like? Evie, you cannot have any.
It tastes like coffee and Coke.
The aftertaste. I have Lord Farquaad hair going on. Yes? Did it break? I'll fix it for you. Well, I'm bummed.
We should have only made one, so that you could
Yeah.
have half a Coke.
I could just have had half.
Both those problems.
It tastes like...
Well, if you go for a nap drive later, you're getting yourself a McDonald's Coke.
It tastes just like burnt
Burnt
Coke. Yeah.
You like your Tops? Mm-hmm. It's not working. Try Tops.
We got it.
Oh, you're not.
What is that? I think it's a tail. We got excavation dinosaur eggs in today's advent calendar. And my goodness, we had to work hard for these Triceratops.
There's a baby.
Yeah, it looks like a little baby.
This is Mommy.
So I'm going to remake myself an espresso drink because that was just not up my alley. Maybe I am kind of a purist when it comes to that sort of stuff. Pop, even like I like Coke. I'll have a cherry Coke. I'll have flavoring, but like I just kind of like it as it is when it comes to Coke. I like to mix fancy drinks with like clear pop or clear sparkling water, but whatever. I digress. So for my other fancy drink, this is already a double shot of espresso with the pecan syrup. I used the last of it, so I need to make some more over ice. And then our machine just frothed half and half creamer for me. It does have like a cold foam option, so this is still cold. Give it a little, whoa. Give it a little swirl.
Dad's coming.
And then I top it off with caramel, and I'll give it a really good stir. Much better. We have Nightmare Before Christmas on. In my opinion, it's truly a Halloween movie. It's so creepy and spooky. Like, it's meant for Halloween. But Peter put it on. We like it. The boys are digging it. So we'll watch it. I'm gonna snuggle up Teddy on this couch.
It's happy. A shark.
We got this Castle Duplo set around this time last year.
You wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And they have been well played with the whole year. So I could not recommend this enough. And honestly, this is so satisfying to build. I have fallen in love with Legos recently, and that's all I'm asking for Christmas. Cheese. Oh, Daisy says cheese. Across the bridge. We made this little Cinderella shoe down there. That's cute, right? Well, and I took a little bit of a turn. I'm upstairs editing. Peter just brought me up dinner. I was supposed to go on a date night with Teddy tonight instead of tomorrow because we want to go to Magic Kingdom and there's a party on Tuesdays. So we did it we were going to do it today, especially since we didn't end up going out yesterday. But it just it didn't make sense because we just have some catching up to do. We need sleep. We have a couple of like early mornings ahead, and it was just like one of those things where it's just like we got to rearrange the week's schedule. So I don't have as much content for today as I thought I was because I was planning on going to Magic Kingdom and having all of that. So I asked on social media for some questions for a little Q&A. So that's probably going to be the bulk of this video. I'll be able to film that later.
One of the benefits of sharing Apple TV with your sister-in-laws is you're super easy for your birthday. And I said, why don't you just buy this movie for us? So we just bought Wild Robot. So the boys and I are going to watch that while we have a dinner, while Mom is editing and folding laundry. And this is called Dividing and Conquering. Let us know if you've seen the Wild Robot. High risk, high reward. This is a roll of paper. I have it here to the garage wall. So hopefully they stick on it, but what's the worst case? I get some white tape, or white paint. Nice job. Teddy, what's that?
Apple.
Oh, it's a delicious apple.
Check out my shirt. I actually got this at a Chicago festival. I might have shown it before. I'm not like a big words on shirt person. Like I love looking at them, but I just like am not someone who buys them. But like I saw the shirt and I had to have it. And comment below if you know what it's from. I mean, the little bit of a hint is I actually have this year round. It is a Christmas reference and a Chicago reference, given I got it at a Chicago festival. Alrighty, a big thank you to everyone who sent in questions. I don't even remember the last clip that I took yesterday. So funny, we even like switched around the night and all I really got done was the vlog. I was supposed to do laundry, I was supposed to record this, but as the night would have it, that did not work out. Jamesy's at school, the boys are playing, we just came in from outside. It's like warm. This winter weather is fleeting. But I mean, it's only mid-December. I'm like telling myself that like January and February can still be very mild. But anyways, so I'm going to answer the Q&A as I can throughout the morning, and we're just gonna do our best. So I organized the questions to make a little bit of sense and like as far as order goes. So somebody asked, how is Vlogmas going? Vlogmas is going great. I really enjoy it. It is definitely an example to me of why we don't have the capacity to vlog right now. And so I've absolutely loved chatting with everyone. Everyone has been so kind. Everyone's been so gracious for me doing this. It's been a lot of fun to just be intentional documenting. I love it. I'm so grateful that all of you fundraised yet again for Peter's Dopey Challenge with American Cancer Society. So yeah, just like feeling overall really good, especially since it like really gives meaning behind the extra work. It is way easier for me to find the time and for Peter and I to prioritize the time to edit and whatnot when it's so meaningful to like fulfill the promise that we've given everybody with your donations. So overall, really great. And I promise not every answer will be that long-winded. Our first set of questions are actually going to be about Christmas. So somebody asked favorite Christmas Eve and Christmas Day traditions. And as far as Christmas Eve, I love reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. My mom did that with us when we were little, and like her voice is just like such like a calming, like I can just hear it. So we have always read it to our kids. I just got a new book this year. And so that's my favorite Christmas Eve tradition. And then Christmas Day. I think my favorite part about Christmas is just like the calmness of the morning. Like typically like we come downstairs and it's all dark and like getting the Christmas tree lit and like seeing what Santa brought. And then just like slowly opening presents and it just being like this like calm, warm morning that like you can't replicate. And then usually Peter starts like making breakfast. And so yeah, I would just say like the calmness of the day. And then somebody just asked my like overall favorite Christmas tradition. And I really think it's like a Chris Kindle market. We go to one in Chicago. We're actually going to one in Orlando this weekend. It's the first year they're doing it. So I'm really, really excited to like feel that in my heart. So I'd say like Christmas markets and like Christmas like food and treats and drinks and just like anything that you can consume daily to like make you feel Christmassy. Also, we are big movie people, so I would just say like always having Christmas movies on like the whole holiday season. Like that and treats are like what make my like holiday spirit like consistent and just like fills me up. On my Christmas list are Legos. I have been like loving Legos lately. It's so satisfying to me. And so I've asked for Legos. And then the boys, I think it's gonna be a very dinosaur Christmas. So that's all I'll say, because they're around, but they know that they've asked for dinosaurs. And then as far as the boys' favorite Christmas movies, I would say Charlie Brown is probably the top contender. But I would say other close contenders are the Prep and Landing movies, Any Grinch, and Olaf's Frozen Adventure. Alrighty, I'm up close, but it just means I'm holding Charlie right now. So now we are on to just like kind of straightforward questions about life. But I really like these next two questions. In a different multiverse, where do you live? Not here or Chicago. And I think that Peter and I would thrive in like Washington in the Pacific Northwest. I could see us there. I could see us in New England, like just on the East Coast. I could definitely see us there. And like, I feel like there are bigger cities up there. There's a lot of like history and all of that. I could see us there. But then I can also see us living in like, I've never been to the UK, but I can also just see us in the UK. I'm also just thinking like Denmark, like even though it's like very cold, it's so funny because we live in Florida. We really don't live here for the heat. So I could definitely see us in like Denmark. I could see us, again, I've never been to those places, but I could just picture us living there from what I know. And then another multiverse question was, what would like our careers be in a different life? And for Peter really wanted to be in the Air Force. With his scoliosis and back surgery, like it was just never going to be possible. So I could see like in another world, Peter's in the Air Force and we're like, we do have that lifestyle. And then I also see in another world me working like as a designer, like downtown, like having that lifestyle and Peter being a stay-at-home dad. Like that would be super fun. I also like, this is like dream. Like I used to think this even when I was little before I edited YouTube videos. And that was me editing movie previews, like the trailers. It's so funny because like ever since the holiday, like when did that come out? I was like, oh, that's a job. And then like I became a video editor. So another multiverse strand is like me with a big shot job and Peter staying home with the kids. And this is filmed over a period of time. So I'm sorry if it's like herky-jerky at all. But anyways, next question. Do we have any cruises planned? We do not. When is our next Chicago trip? And as far as right now, like in the works, like we don't have anything booked. Ooh, Teddy's in like a mommy watch this phase. I love it. Peter is graduating from UIC with his master's in the spring. And so we're hoping to go for him to walk in graduation in May. And then a bigger question that I'll like try again to keep short and sweet. Somebody asked our 5-year plan. And I don't know like specifics, but I'm hopeful in the next 5 years we have finished our family planning, and that we can kind of just like settle into parenthood, build like more of a community through like the boys' events, and I just love the idea of like there's people out there that are going to love you that you haven't met yet. Like, just as they get older and we're kind of like out of our little like chaotic bubble, I'm looking forward to like meeting, growing our community and all of that. I think with Peter's new job, that's your advent calendar. I have like a bunch of stuff stacked for this tripod. And then I feel like part of that 5-year plan is like figuring out what Peter wants to do with his career in this new job. Whether that's like really build it where he is, or like look towards the future. Like I feel like the next 5 years will be pivotal to decide, is this like a stepping stone or is this like something he'll settle into? So all that's kind of vague, but I do feel like that 5 years that there will be a lot of clarity in the unknowns that we have. A question that kind of goes along with this is, do we plan on living in Florida? Like, do we plan on moving back to Chicago? We don't see us staying here forever. What we don't know is, like, not living here doesn't mean living in Chicago, and that's like a weird piece of the puzzle. But it's also like empowering to have options. So I wouldn't say necessarily here or there. I just know that it probably won't be here forever. And then somebody asked how was it like moving back to Chicago and then moving back again. And it was like tumultuous. I won't sugarcoat that at all. We never imagined we'd move away from Chicago. But it was weighing on us so much. We were talking about it every single night. It was like truly like weighing on us. We actually made the decision in February of 2017. We didn't move until July because we knew we wanted to do it right. But anyways, it was a big deal. We were struggling to build our family. Our work-life balance was not good. It just like really felt like we needed to do this. And we were so driven to do it. The vlog was just a piece of that puzzle, and obviously we're very grateful for that. So like, even though like this whole like the push and pull we always have, it always feels right wherever we end up. Like when we came to Florida, we got handed our fertility doctor. He brought us our children. Like there's like no question in my mind that this is where we were meant to become parents. Going back to Chicago, being there with my mom and her last time on this earth, like how like the timing of that is just still, I can't wrap my mind around it. I do feel like we were there then 2 years. I feel like this question needs a little bit more to it. So that's why it's a little bit longer. But I do think that we did not settle into parenthood just yet at that time. Obviously, I became pregnant with Teddy unexpectedly. And it was like expected but not unexpected because we had our chemical pregnancy. We were prepping for transfer. But we hadn't settled into the lifestyle we have now just yet. And we haven't been in this place in Chicago. Like I do feel like now that we have settled and we aren't going out every night and I feel like the way that we started to feel like cabin fever in Chicago, we just weren't used to essentially like parenthood and our lifestyle yet. And I don't think that we jumped too fast coming back down here because I genuinely, again, like right now building our family, like our embryos are here, especially with the children going back and forth to build our family. Like we are in our heart of hearts, we're like, we will be here until we are complete building our family because this is where our embryos are. I'm very curious to see how we would feel now that we've sort of transitioned into this new era of our life, that we wouldn't have felt so like pulled to go back to Florida, essentially almost bored in Chicago, now that our life so revolves around the needs of our children. And so I'm curious. So that's what I'm saying is like, I don't question where we've been and our timeline. All of these big moments feel big and are worthy of like time and consideration. And the thing about Peter and I is we don't do anything we don't want to do, even if it's hard, because we are stubborn people who essentially, like, we will put in the work if we need to put in the work. And so all of our moves, even though they've been big and we've had to put in a lot of effort, we've gone into debt, we've like had to do research in homes and schools, and it's like Peter and I don't do anything that we don't want to do. So at the end of the day, like, it's like it wasn't necessarily easy, but we would do it again for our family. We do all of that because we feel so confidently in the choices that we've made. So there's a long-winded answer to that. So yes, big decisions can weigh on you, but we always know, like, in our gut how we're feeling, and then that allows us to make those big decisions and to make those big moves without like questioning or without like it necessarily being a negative experience. It's just like a big experience. Okay, some quick questions now. Does Christine and her family still live in Florida? No, they moved back to the Midwest during the summer. And so yeah, they are in Northwest Indiana now, really close to my older sister. Florida just wasn't for them. And do we see Katie vining? If you guys have followed us, we have a friend named Katie. She also does YouTube. She actually, if you want to go and subscribe to her, she's like past 90,000 subscribers. She's like made this her career. She's like so looking forward to hitting that 100,000. We don't see Katie. We've only seen Katie. I saw Katie by accident recently. We happened to park like right behind each other going into Animal Kingdom one day while James was at school. So like I spent the day then at Animal Kingdom. We saw her then. We saw her an additional time, but we more so just are still friends who talk and confide in each other. And she actually just had another baby. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll have seen that. So like talk to her, found like the days leading up and during, and so we don't necessarily, like, the question is like, do we see her? And like, we actually really don't, but we still talk to her. We still are a friend. Yes. Somebody asked if you will be seeing Charlie's birth vlog. We have decided against it. I did a little recap on Instagram, and there is like a story highlight if you want to go back and watch me talk about it. When we made the decision to, more so with Peter's job, to stop posting on YouTube, that was just the piece of the puzzle that right now we aren't. I actually went back through the footage, and the NICU is a wild ride. There really isn't, we really didn't vlog well, tell the story well. So I was also thinking like it'd be different if I like put a lot of work into the filming. Yes. Whoa. He's such a nut. But we really didn't. There are some clips. Like maybe I'll share a clip later in Vlogmas. But yeah, we are deciding to keep that like private as far as like an actual vlog. But if you want to know the story and you want to go on Instagram, it's still a saved highlight reel. I felt like this went alongside like the birth story a little bit. Somebody asked why we're no longer sharing the kids' faces. And it does feel weird to like sharing your everyday life to like being so private about things, but it's almost that sharing that we did previously that like made us feel this way. I'll try to keep this short, but basically we always knew we weren't certain when we had kids how the vlog would look and how we'd be. And then we had the kids and we just kept on going. We were always sort of like questioning like, that felt kind of icky. I didn't like that comment. People don't really know. The Brookcar project is Peter and Sarah. We were not expecting them, the children, to be a source of entertainment or information. They were kind of just like accessories of the vlog. But putting yourself out there, people, you know, they see what they want to see, or they assume they know us very well from seeing us. And so we just started to feel like very protective because Peter and I grew all those years of the Brookheart Project being able to have thick skin for certain things. We knew, we were confident in what we were sharing and how we shared it, but bringing kids in just like sort of like added an additional element that like we just kind of just like didn't feel good about. Like in our hearts, we just didn't feel good about it. Every once in a while, and then we'd pick back up like the pros of the vlog would triumph. And then randomly we started figuring out what we wanted to do with the vlog. And right around that same time, like this is like people are always like, did something specific happen? And there was a period of time where our address was like being shared. And that was like, whoa, like safety is like sharing, like oversharing is one thing, but like our safety is another. And that was like, okay, even though it was like nothing was coming of it, there was no threats, it would just be like the numbers of our address. And we'd be like, we don't like that. So that like all of this sort of happened, like culminated at the same time as we're like becoming more knowledgeable about AI and cybersecurity and all of those things. And we just sort of decided like we are all or nothing people when it comes to a lot of things. And so we just sort of were like, we need to take this step. And then as time goes on, we can reevaluate. Maybe we'd share more again. I don't know. So all of the things we didn't like about sharing our life could still take place with sharing less. And so we kind of just need like time to like happen to like reevaluate. So long story long. And if it's not clear, like this is like a very specific answer to our family's experience having shared our daily life. And that is where we've made this call from, and like everybody makes their decisions, you know, from their own experiences. So it's just like we kind of have this like very specific and unique situation that has led us to this point. So just know they're really cute. Are you cute? I went from like not having any content to this being a long vlog and it going to hopefully not take me too long to edit. But here are some like rapid fire questions. My favorite Peloton instructor is Robin. My go-to easy recipe is definitely a Greek bowl of some sort. So like hopefully I'd have a salad, like a pre-mixed salad, roast some chickpeas, or even just put them on there raw with some yummy dressing. Chop up tomatoes, chop up cucumbers, put some cheese on top and some balsamic. Maybe roast some potatoes if I'm feeling really zesty. And really it could be any flavor, but I feel like I go Greek easily because they're like nice, bold, yummy flavors that even though I throw it together quickly, it's still really flavorful and delicious. Put lemon juice on top. You could put olives on it if you're into that. I like to chop up pickles. You could put, I often put sauerkraut. So yeah, it's kind of like versatile, whatever I have to make the easy recipe. Someone mentioned if I'm drinking coffee, that's really cool. And I'm like drinking coffee. So with our new espresso machine, I'll make a double shot of espresso with like a good amount of syrup, like the homemade syrups I've been making. So make that, mix it up, put it over ice. And then again, our espresso machine can make like cold foam. So then I'll top it with like whole milk or oat milk, whatever we got. And then I'll put caramel on top and then I'll mix it all together. So it's not necessarily like a cup of coffee. There's plenty of sugar involved, there's plenty of milk involved, but it's definitely different than my whole life of not liking coffee. Having one every day feels great. Somebody asked about the boys' bedtime routines, if they're together or apart. And actually, we've always we've kind of done followed the needs of the boys as they've, grown and become, able to tell us what they need. And so half of our bedtime routines are together, like bath time, quiet time, like the relaxing bit. 2 of the boys do get books together, but it's at that time where we end up splitting off. One of us has the little 2, and then one of us has James, and we switch off every night who does who. So we each get that like one-on-one time. All of the boys kind of need that like one-on-one support at like to actually go to bed, with the exception of Charlie. He's sort of figuring out his new life, having only 2 naps a day. So often he will fall asleep during our family quiet time. And then we have the one-on-one time with the boys where we read books, we brush our teeth, and we sing songs, and then each go to sleep. So we've just found that like those like, it's nice for us to be together, and then when it's actually time to like really wind down, and then they don't have to like who picks the book and who one's over here wanting to brush your teeth, and you know, like it just kind of like felt like once we needed to like actually chill out. They didn't need each other's energies. They're 18 months apart, so like they're very much so in that same space right now. I feel like James is like, now that he's 4, he's like really kind of starting to be like, oh yeah, he is a bigger kid. I forget that Teddy's not the same age. Like he still is only 2. Like he still has that like little baby inside of him. So half together, and then we do have one-on-one time together, which is really, really nice. Alrighty, and then the last 4 questions are all having to do with the theme parks. Our favorite theme park announcement that was recently made is nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom. It has just like, has not felt right in my soul there not being one. And so that's absolutely what we're looking forward to the most. Somebody asked if we brought the boys to the other theme parks in Orlando. They have gone to Universal, but we have let our passes there lapse. Like we just did not go often enough. They love Minions. But yeah, we'd love to go take them to SeaWorld. But again, like they're just so little. And I know there's Sesame Street, but I want them to see the penguins. But we might like one-off go. But they've done Universal. They've liked it, but not enough to like bring us there often enough. Somebody asked our favorite resort, which I just love this like standard question. And it's Wilderness Lodge. If you ask Peter on any given day, he might say Crescent Lake Boardwalk. But we've kind of really settled into Wilderness Lodge, and especially at Christmas time. And then very last question, one of the boys' favorite rides and snacks. So their favorite park is Animal Kingdom. They love the safari. I would say like they're so into animals. And then Hollywood Studios, we're always hoping that Mickey and Minnie's has a low wait time. Teddy is really into Haunted Mansion. James is now tall enough. Yes. Whoa, that was cool. He's tall enough. He did Big Thunder. He did Splash. He did Soarin' and Dinosaur. Those are all, I think he's tall enough for Rise even. So he did Slinky Dog. But I think out of all the favorites of these new rides that he recently tried out, I mean, Soarin' I think he likes best. But then Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I think that he enjoyed that one the most. And their favorite snack is the lemon ices. If we need to like wait out a Fantasmic, or it's just one of those like park days where it's so hot, or we're just like, we need to like, let's pull it together, let's have a refresh. A lemon ice always does the trick. I love you. So I really hope you enjoyed this like little update, a little look into our current, minds and whatnot. I really enjoyed all the questions. Thank you everyone who sent in questions and made this vlog something. I really, really appreciate it. And if you have any other questions, just like put them in the comments, and I will try to answer them during like the sign-offs during Vlogmas. Like when I'm like closing up the vlog, I'll try to answer them like voice to camera. I have been trying to answer comments as well as I can, but you know how it is. It is good to be home.
We know what our goals are. We know what we hope to accomplish. And believe me, it's the most exciting and challenging assignment we've ever tackled at Walt Disney Productions.